Hi everyone, Coach Cameron Roberts here. You've tuned in to the Sales Renegade Show, and today we have Mr. Roy McDonald, the author of How to Turn $1 into $1 million in 7 years or less, and it's sold over 40,000 copies. And today we're actually going to be talking about property. Roy's going to share some of his knowledge around property. And Roy, you've been in the property game for over 50 years. In fact, we're in one of your buildings now that you own, and you've owned real estate companies or do own real estate companies and developing companies. So can you share with us about property, what's going on at the moment, what do the listeners need to look out for in the future?
Yeah, it's a big market. There's a lot of shiny things out there,
right.
over here, over there.
Yeah.
It's not a good look, I've got to say, and not on a doomsday. I've made millions of dollars in property,
but you have to be realistic.
You
like
do.
It's better that the listeners know than don't know.
Correct. In the 60s and 70s, it was like whatever you picked on the Herald,
right.
or whichever paper, the Brisbane Courier or something, it went up because inflation was driving it. It was just very easy and very simple to make money.
Yeah.
And inflation drives real estate, and inflation drove wages which can afford real estate, and shortage of land and all that. Now we have plenty of land and plenty of area, and they'll open up new areas. We're in Robina right now. This 15 years ago was just a paddock.
There's nothing here.
289 billion later, we have this whole thing, and as quick as they build them, they're sold. And this government has been absolutely committed to low inflation, and it's doing, all the governments previously as well, all committed to the same thing, which is really keeping wages down. So I don't want to get too technical, but the bottom line is that it's the affordingness of someone to be able to buy the property.
Right.
That's what really
it's
determines
the affordability.
So if someone's getting high wages and growing, they can afford a better place. So when your father was alive, he was earning a certain amount of money compared to what you earn now. So, but there's a levelling or very, very slow growth, less than inflation right now. So this is where some of the issues are. Now, that doesn't mean we can't make money in property.
I was going to say, is there anything we can do there?
It's huge thing. So, but there's two things for the listeners to really get, and most people have been taught, location, and position. And of course, that was taught to them by a real estate agent.
Yes, of course.
Who
we love.
Of course. Yeah. Who had a premium on property. So the truth is, it's not position or location. It's about yield. Yield means the return of my money.
The return on your money.
Yeah. So I have buildings that aren't in position, but I'm getting the same rent.
Right.
And I bought them for half the price.
Yes.
So my yield is so much better. Okay. So and yield will determine the value of a property.
Right.
So a low yielding building will actually have a low yielding profit because a valuation, because it's otherwise it's just all blue sky. So if you want to get real money, and I'm talking real wealth, not some, then we're looking for yield.
Yeah. So can I just ask a quick question? So when you're looking at property then and you're looking at the yields, are you almost doing property like a business? You're looking for the profitability in the property? Is that fair to say? Absolutely,
great statement and very fair. And there are two parts to know. One, are you looking at buy and hold, or are you trading? Now, that's a huge diversion.
Right.
So in the old days, buy and hold was great because inflation was so high, so it didn't matter. Today, that's not and for really the last
you'd have to wait like 20 years.
Yeah. Well, if you go back to 2003, most states in this country, we had boom, and hit a huge point in 2003, 2004, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we've actually had this happen, and you know how every agent told you it always doubles every 7 years or every 10 years? That hasn't happened because we're still buying properties now, 2014, which were available in 2003, same price.
Same price.
Yeah.
So it hasn't doubled.
No. And we're into our 11th year.
11th,
So we're in a very interesting time. Now, the way to if I was to give them a very quick answer, and it probably needs more than this, and in one month we go through a lot of detail, so I encourage you guys to get together with them and see if we can be some support.
Find out more,
At buy and hold for me, and it has been since 2005, I'm really focused more on that, is all about commercial property. They're the only ones I buy and hold.
Yeah.
In other words, the yield is so high because I can get a 7, 8, 9, 10% net return.
Yeah.
And some I get 12 and 15.
Yeah.
Now, when you're borrowing at 6% or 5% or whatever, can you see that's positive?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's okay, and that's actually enhancing the value of the building.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just make a little diversion here. If you're negatively gearing, just pray, because it's really, that is not the purpose. The purpose of becoming an investor is to create positive income.
Yeah.
So it serves nobody except everyone else but yourself.
Right.
In other words, if you're a negatively geared investor, the real estate agent's happy with you, the government's happy with the stamp duty,
right.
The banks are happy because they're getting their premium, the tenant is overwhelmed by the support you're giving them to support their rentals, and you're the one paying the money.
You're the one paying the money.
And it only works if you get growth, which is an old formula that's not working.
Yeah.
So to come back to
because we're in a
residential,
new economy now.
correct.
There's new rules, new economy.
And this
the old ways don't work.
So true. And residential, in our mind, is a trading market. So we buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
And if you look at the markets, all markets are the same. 20% of the market pays over the price.
Yeah.
6% is at the market, what's called the market, and 20% of the market is below the price.
Yeah.
So we have systems, RP data, various systems that can
finding
find
the bottom
properties.
20%.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we buy them low, sell them high, and we can flick them in 90 days, 180 days. Just one of our guys, Cade, who you've met.
Yes.
Since we've been just tracking him since January, we started doing transactions with him last year. So in the last 12 months, he's done 11 transactions.
Wow.
He's made over $903,000 in profit.
Wow.
That's he's used none of his own money.
Wow.
Just trading. And he's given away over 230,000 to the joint venture partners who he paid 10% interest for and 20% of the profit. Yeah. And I know this because I'm in every one of those transactions.
Awesome. Very good.
And this next year he'll do over $2 million in profit. And
wow.
He does this in probably less than a day a week.
Wow. That's amazing.
And you know him.
Yeah,
he's a lovely guy.
He's a lovely guy.
So he's a great example. Yeah. And that's a trading position. So if those people want to have a look at that, if they want to, send me their details and I'll send you how I did that. Yeah. How I turned $150,000 profit in 180 days with $1,000.
Wow, just with $1,000.
Yeah.
180. Did you say
180 days? He made $150,000.
Wow, with $1,000.
With $1,000.
It almost sounds unbelievable, doesn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
And we talked the other time about identity. When you use words like "it sounds unbelievable," then we're setting it up to be that way, as opposed to be. It's
achievable once you know the right strategies.
To make a souffle is unbelievable unless you have a recipe.
Right. Yes.
Once you have a recipe, you can make a souffle, a cake. You can make anything you want. Yeah. But there's a very, very important way of doing everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone once said, I think it was Wallace who said, people do certain things and get a result.
Yeah.
Other people do certain things in a certain way and get a very different result. Yeah. So
that's very good. And so, if the listeners want to be a part of that or learn more about the property strategies that you're teaching and speaking about, how can they do that?
If they drop us a line, just at info at onelife.com.au and put their telephone number in, we'll send back on an SMS a connection for the video of that. And also, if they're interested, this book sells for $30. We're happy to give them the book. So
and does the book have examples on property? Yeah.
It does, but not those types of ones. Yeah. And we have a
series starting point.
The book covers your wealth account, strategic spending, your 7-year plan, your goals program, and tax, and a whole lot of things of how to do this. Yeah. The individual examples that was done since that book has been written. So there's many of those. We've got a lot of success stories.
Okay, great. All right, so if you want to get your hands on this book, How to Turn $1 into $1 million, or in 7 years or less, or you want to contact Roy and find out more about the property market and how he can help you, you can do that at info@onelife.com.au. Thank you very much, Roy, for joining us today. I really appreciate that.
Pleasure.
And we look forward to sharing some of your knowledge in the upcoming episodes as well. I think we're talking about business, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, business.
And income.
Business, income, and time management.
Correct.
Excellent. All right, thank you, Roy.
Good, thank you.